Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. This is going to be Comments episode 8. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video. If you end up liking it, hit the notification bell, leave more comments, and we'll have more discussion. Alright, so let's just go ahead and start it off. Yeah, by the way, I'm wearing my felt hat again because temperatures have actually dropped back down, thank goodness. So I'm hanging up my straw hat, and hopefully this will be the last time for the season. It's nice and cool outside right now. Okay, in response to my comments, episode 7, Tyler Cragen says, speaking of YouTubers like Watcher Palmer, The Last Dispensation, etc., do you network with them at all? Would you ever consider collaborating with any other YouTubers within this space? Just curious. Yeah. Actually, I just talked to Troy Abels of The Last Dispensation, sent him a message, and he said that he was going to get with Palmer and then see about doing a video, all three of us. Um, I was going to do it with D or L Alvarez D. He's another LDS YouTuber. He doesn't do videos like this, but he puts a lot of like quotes and just sources of information, usually text to music. Um, but he's not going to be able to do it, so it's just going to be me, hopefully Palmer, and then almost certainly Troy Abels, me and Troy Abels at the very least. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a good video. Not sure when it's going to happen, but I would imagine probably within the next week or two. Um, let's see. Nancy Perez, in response to 1 of 31, the Sister Wendy Nelson Challenge introductory remarks, asks, please post a link to the devotional if you can. Um, I thought that there was actually a transcript of it. I knew that there wasn't the actual devotional. Like you can't see the video, at least not yet. But what I thought was the transcript it's not. It was something else. So I don't have anything that I can give you by ways of a link. So either you'll just have to watch my video for the notes that I took down, or you can also go to like Church News, and they did an article about it. But that's probably the best that you can get. In response to 2 of 31 of the Sister Wendy Nelson Challenge, Christy Olson says, I really love that you're doing this. I heard your first report. I decided to read the talks also. So I love hearing them talked about by someone else. Thank you. No problem. Um, I hope that everyone can benefit from this. I think it's great to do it on your own, and we can also do it together. And I'll share my insights, and I really like to go into the footnotes and the references and the other talks that um, the prophet and other general authorities reference. I think that's important to do. I think there's a lot of things that they want to tell us that they can't necessarily to a general audience. So when you look at the footnotes, there's a lot of gems that you can find there, in deeper meanings to their talks. So no problem. I'm glad that you're following along with the series. I'm going to try and do at least one a day. I mean, there's 31, so I guess that would take about a month. But you know, maybe I'll do on some days I'll do two. We'll just see how it goes. Um, Arif Litharaga Ulascoaga says another Arab country ready to join its Arab brothers to sign peace with Israel. Wow! And then he put a link with that. There are a lot of things going on by way of peace between Israel and Arab countries. Let me just go to this link really quick. And Israel in talks to normalize ties with Comoros. Comoros. I've never even heard of Comoros. And I like geography. I feel like I like pretty much know all the countries. Where's Comoros? Country in East Africa. Looks like it's a little island nation. It's kind of in between Madagascar in the mainland, um, up in the north part between Madagascar and in the mainland of Africa. So yeah, they must be. Yeah, wow. Well, even though they're tiny, I've never heard of them. That's still really interesting. Thanks for that, Arif. Um, in response to one of my way old videos, become a homesteader. Lacey Page says, "Grid is what you're talking about." Thumbs up. Yeah, absolutely. Um, in response to the same video, she asks, "How big is your homestead?" It's about 2 acres. So, and unfortunately, it's not out in the country. We wanted to get a property outside of town. Thankfully, we're in a small town. We're not like outside of Wichita or anything. I've seen a lot of like properties that are around Wichita, even though it's you know a larger city. But we did a VA loan, and it was hard to find a property out in the country. Let's just put it like that. And then Lacey Page also in response to homesteading, is she pregnant? That's a video I did about our Holstein that we used to have. We don't have her anymore. We took her to another homestead, another family in our ward, to try and get bred so that we could milk her. Holsteins are those like black and white cows that like the. Whenever you think of cow, a lot of times you think about Holsteins. They're the ones with like the black spots, and you know what I'm talking about. They're dairy cows, and we got her um, for milk, but now we traded her off for our two um, Angus Hereford cross calves, which one of them died today. Um, really kind of upset about that. Upset at myself because I thought that we were in the clear. We got them as bottle calves. We traded the two of them for this Holstein, and we did everything. We tube fed one of them, and that's the one that's still alive. But the other one, the whole time, didn't have any health issues. We got them. They were a little bit scoury, which means that they had baby cow diarrhea, which means that they're dehydrated and or sick. And but we took care of that. We gave them electrolytes and got them up to health, and then both of them were taking the bottle just fine. And then we weaned them at 8 weeks, which is the typical time that you wean a bottle calf. Um, and then just when we had that rain, just like a week or two ago, that's when this one started coughing. And then I was just like, okay, it's probably fine. Maybe it's because of the rain. But no, I think she got pneumonia. That's like one of the big risks. And I should have just acted right away. We've always been like, well, we're not going to give them shots unless we absolutely have to. And this is one of those cases where we should have just given them shots. And now it's making me think maybe we should give them shots preemptively. So we're still new at this. It's only been a couple years. Well, we're going on 2 years. And we're just learning lessons along the way. And so this was a hard lesson to learn. Okay, in response to 1 of 31, Rachel Zumaya says, President Monson struggled at the end of his life with dementia. I think the Lord was seeing how some members would respond. I was praying for Monson to pass, even though I loved him so much. I always had wanted to meet him in the flesh, but I kept feeling that the church needed to make changes and press forward, and he died shortly after. I didn't know that he was struggling with dementia. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, or that's interesting. But when I was talking about him, I was talking about just like the entirety of his presidency. That it just seemed relatively quiet when you're talking about changes that happened in the church. I know that it was him that lowered the missionary age. Um, he was also the one that announced the Rome Temple, which was a big deal, and it seems like uh, the prophet and the apostles view the Roman temple as a big deal. They all went there, um, and of course it was because President Nelson felt inspired that they should all go there. But I think that they were probably all on the same page anyway. They all went when it was dedicated, which is unusual. So anyway, I'm sure that he probably did some other things. I think there were some changes that were happening toward the end of his presidency, but anyway, I didn't know that he had dementia. Thanks for the comment. Oh, we have another one from her on the same video. Um, in reviewing the talks myself, I have come to realize that many of the changes that he wanted to see in the women of the church, many of the changes that he wanted to see in the women of the church since he became prophet are changes that I have made in my life. Oh, good job. Reading his talks made me realize how much I have progressed over the last few years. Um, that's been my biggest takeaway so far. Very, very good. Good to hear. In response to Return of the 10 Lost Tribes, more amazing than the Exodus of Egypt, Imaginator says, I'm thinking there's truth to both theories, meaning the theory of an unknown body of the 10 Lost Tribes somewhere in the earth or somewhere on the earth that we don't know about, or the other theory being that there isn't one. So I don't know that there can be truth in both because they kind of contradict each other. But let me see what you have to say. Yes, let him talk. There may be a hidden group of some kind which all combine with our missionary gathering efforts. I wouldn't be surprised either way, to be honest. The Lord has worked in symbolic and metaphoric subtle ways, and also in giant sci-fi ways. I mean, we know the city of Enoch will literally return from heaven somewhere in space. Uh, so I'm not quick to put a limit on what the Lord will or can do either way. Yeah, and I'm not gonna put limits on him either. I'm still I still have a tiny, a tiny. I'm giving it a tiny chance that there literally could be a group somewhere. The more that I research it, it seems to make more sense that that's not the case. But he definitely could, and certainly, no one can put limits on what God can do. So I hope I wasn't portraying that in my video. Um, and then, yeah, with the city of Enoch, somewhere in space, maybe a different. I don't want to sound sci-fi. Maybe a different dimension or phased out. Um, who the heck knows? We know that they were removed from the Earth, whatever that means. So for sure. In response to my British Israelism 10 Lost Tribes video that I just did yesterday, Rachel C. Zumaya says, there are several artifacts also showing remnants of Jewish background coming from Britain. This is also the reason why they fought the Crusades, because they knew that, excuse me, they knew themselves to be Israel. They misinterpreted how they were to reclaim Israel, though. It was not to be with the sword, but through the Lord's church in the latter days. Yeah, we know that they and other European nations, including my mom's Portugal and also Spain and France, they all participated in the Crusades. There is such a thing as French Israelism. I think there is a reason why these northern countries, what I believe to be the northern countries being Europe, I think there's a reason why they embraced Christianity. And I know the history that Constantine made it the official religion of the Roman Empire, but even emperors only have so much power. It's my understanding that he saw it as kind of like a rising movement, and so it's like he couldn't just like arbitrarily change the religion. The people have to be on board. Like he could, but it's a much bigger struggle, even if you are emperor. And I think that because there was a lot of these lost tribes up in Europe, they embraced Christianity, albeit an apostate one. But I think there's a lot that happened during the Great Apostasy that really did further the Lord's work, and there was actually more truth and stuff than we give it credit for. And a lot of miracles and things happened during that time. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna go just even deeper into this, into both Britain and France and the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal, and other pockets of people that claim Israelite heritage throughout the world. Thanks for your comment. In response to 1 of 31, the Sister Wendy Nelson Challenge, Ongoing Restoration says, great video, brother. I just found your channel and subscribed. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the other videos in this series. You and me both. I can't wait to see what else there is. This will be the first time that, I mean, I've heard all the talks, but this will be the first time that I do like a deep dive and um, again, just check out all the footnotes and highlight key phrases and repeated themes. And I think it's going to be good. So thanks for following along and thanks for subscribing. I'll always try and put out good content for you. In response to We Talk of Christ and of Being Caught Up, this was by Elder Neil L. Anderson. It was a talk that he gave in a previous general conference. Daniel Johnson says, they certainly aren't holding back with comments regarding his return. No, they're not. It's been fun to see that. It's also been fascinating to see people who seem clueless as to what's going on. I pray I will always have ears to hear and eyes to see. Yeah, and that phrase was just used, right, in this last general conference by Elder Christoffel Golden. He's letting us know that there are some people that are aware of what's going on and other people that are not. And it blows my mind. I can understand in the case of maybe people that are new to the church, possibly, but I think even they can know uh, where we're at. You know, that you go on YouTube and there's any number of YouTube channels that are evangelicals, non-denominationals. Um, a lot of even like Catholics are kind of talking about it. I've heard some Catholics talking about it, that we are in different times. Things are changing, and they're all making the connection that it has to do with the second coming. So, um, but people, especially people that have been in the church for a long time, I just I don't know how you can watch General Conference um, every 6 months and not notice the change, especially since President Nelson has become prophet. The way that they talk, the phrases that they use, the things that they put in their footnotes, they're just caught. I just, if you don't look at anything else but how our general authorities are talking, something has changed. It's speeding up. It's getting closer. And Elder Christoffel Golden just flat out said that there are people right now that have eyes to see and ears to hear, that it's getting really close. That he said that we've never been closer than ever before, which is literally true, you know, at any point during the earth, right? You know, the day after Adam was created, he was closer to the second coming than ever before. But I don't think that that's the sense in which he said that. He's highlighting the fact that right now we are really close, like seriously close. In response to my British Israelism, 10 Lost Tribes, Bonnie Nadino says, years ago there was an article in Ensign that talked about the influence of the Hebrew language on the Germanic language, and when it occurred, probably caused by immigrating tribes of Israel. Almost certainly. And of course, English is a Germanic language. It's part of that branch of the Indo-European language family. Um, so I'm gonna have to research that or find that talk. Um, you know what? Let's do it right now. Screw it. Let's do it right now. I'm gonna find it. Let's see. English, or sorry. Let's see. Ensign um, language influenced by um, Hebrew. You know what? It might take me more time to find that than what I thought. I thought it would just pop right up. LDS. Let me put LDS in there. No. You know what? I'm going to find it because I guarantee that that is still... That's going to be on the church's website. Okay, now you're just watching me. Okay, sorry. Jared, you're doing a video right now. They're watching, waiting. Okay, so that's actually going to wrap it up. So I appreciate all your comments. Thank you so much. I think it's really great to hear everything that you guys have to say and talk about these things, share ideas. And if you're watching this and you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. Like this video if you liked it, hit the notification bell. Leave your own comments if you haven't, and we'll bring that up in future comments episodes. And I'll talk to you guys later.